Hello everyone. I want to talk about what does it mean to have a flourishing family. So a flourishing family is a family that ultimately, what it says in the name, you are flourishing together as a family. You are working together. You are having good communication. You are enjoying each other's presence. You are having fun with each other, right? So what does it look like? It looks like there's good communication happening. It looks like that you are excited to be around each other. It looks like you are so excited to be ready to go out and have fun together with the people that are in your family and having good conversations, enjoying each other. And how do people talk? People are talking to each other with respect. People are talking with each other with understanding. People are talking with each other through the way of trying to understand the emotions and how you feel, what is going on inside of your heart. And also, how do people act around each other in a flourishing family? Well, you are excited to be around that person, so your demeanor and your posture of the way you are acting and responding to that person is you are leaning in to listen to them, to hear them out, to hear what they have to say about their day, about their life. You're excited to hear all of those things about them, and they are also, in response to what you are saying, are asking more questions about your day. So if you're saying, I'm having a great day, they're like, well, then tell me about your day. What makes it exciting? What makes it good? So they're really leaning in on you to ask more questions, to understand and better understand you as a person and about what you are saying. So those are the kind of conversations that you would have if your family is flourishing. But what if it is not flourishing? It would be more of just kind of a one-sided conversation. You are so excited to share with that person how your day is going, what's happening, and all you are hearing is literally, that's my cricket sound, is literally crickets, because you are just talking to yourself. You're talking about yourself, and then that's it. And you just want them to ask more questions, like, well, why aren't they asking me more questions about my day, or what I just shared with them about my job, or about this new car I got, or this new house I have, right, that I just bought, or something cool that my children did. But there's nothing in reciprocation from that. It's just literally, like I said, crickets. And you're just like, okay, now what? Now what do I do? What should I say next? And you're trying to keep the conversation going, but nothing's happening. So that's the example of a non-flourishing family, something that there's tension going on there. And how do people respond, or what is that composition, and what does that flourishing family look like? Who is it made up of? Well, it just depends. It depends who is in your family. It could be where there's a mom and a dad and the children there, or it could be just a child if it only has this one child. It could be a mom and the kids, if this mom is a single mom. It could be the dad and just the kids. It could be where there is a mom and a dad, but unfortunately they're not together anymore and they're separated. And then they have the dynamic of trying to figure out what the kids do. Who do they go to? How that works in the schedule, right? Of going back and forth. It all depends on your situation. It could be you are in the middle of a divorce and getting a separation. It could be that you're trying to figure out what it works in, what it looks like, and that you are thinking about divorce, but you're not there yet. You're still trying to make it work. So the composition of a flourishing family varies from person to person depending on your situation. It doesn't matter exactly how it is composed and what it is composed of. The important thing is the composition of that family is always, there's going to be a parent and children involved in some shape or form. That there is someone that's leading the dynamic of the family, and you're trying to figure that out. And the leader or the parent is trying to pour into the younger generation, that is the children. Now I'm talking about younger generation in quotes too, because it could be adult children. It could be that you are a grandparent and you are trying to parent your adult children and your grandchildren. It could be that there's no grandchildren involved, but you are a grandparent age, elderly, and you are trying to parent your adult child or children. So it could be all these different things, and you're trying to figure out how do you talk to the children. It all comes down to the parent trying to figure out how to communicate with the children and also how to communicate with each other as adults, because there's more than one parent involved. It could be the mom and the father, right? And you are trying to communicate and trying to figure out how do you bring that family dynamic into that family with your children. So they could be made up of all sorts of different shapes and forms, like I like to call it, and look different. And that is what I want to talk about in the Flourishing Family webinar, is to dive deeper into some of those questions that I just answered today for you, of what does that look like? What does that look like to have a flourishing family? What do you do when your family isn't flourishing? You have the tension, you have the divide, you have the arguments, you are just wanting to not even be around that person. You're like, get away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. So what do you do in that situation when that tension is high in the household between the two adults and also between the adult and the children? So those are the things that I will be talking about during the webinar, to give you an overview of what this looks like and what do we do. What are some of the ways to bring healing to those questions when you don't want to be near that person, you don't want to be at the family events anymore, you don't want to talk to the other adult that's in the family dynamic in your house that you're living with. And we're going to dive into that. So I am so excited to share that with you on Good Friday, on Saturday, and also Easter Sunday. You can join for all three if you like, but I'm going to let you know that all three webinars are going to be the same. You can join in, because I know if you're like me, sometimes you like to hear more than one, so feel free to dive into it again and sign up for more than one. But we are going to talk about that, and also an option of how you are able to continue to work with me if you want your family to flourish and you are struggling right now and looking for an answer, looking for somebody to help your family flourish and thrive. So join me and sign up for the Flourishing Family webinar that is starting on Good Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Thank you for listening, and I hope you will be blessed.